And we are live. Welcome to another star-studded edition of DCTV. Excellent crew today. I'm going to go around the horn to introduce everybody one by one. We've got a very nuanced, complete crew today. Weather, sides, totals, props. It's all here, and it's all DCTV vets. So hopefully they all brought their A game. I'm going to start with our guy over there, Darth Vader. Introduce yourself to the listeners at home, people who may not be familiar with you. I know you are obviously, you know MLB super well. We're going to be working through the MLB slate ad nauseum. You're not as big on Twitter, more of a TikTok IG guy, but introduce yourself to listeners at home and kind of what makes you different or special when it comes to capping.
Sure thing. Yeah, my name is Darth Vader. I mean, it's actually Jordan Michael. That's my government name, but I go as Darth Vader on social medias, primarily Instagram. Um, I've been in the game on Dub Club for probably like 3 months now, but I've got 5 years of Major League Baseball experience and playing with the Chicago White Sox. And so, yeah, I mean, I've got pretty much inside knowledge, you could say. I've got experience in the game, and I feel like my opinions, are usually pretty spot on.
The fellas are doing pretty good on the South Side this year. Have you been paying attention? Like, how do you consider yourself a Sox fan? Obviously, you spent a bunch of time with the organization.
I would
Why
call
are things?
myself.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I would call myself a Chicago fan. Like, I'm very thankful for the opportunity that the Chicago White Sox gave me. And I mean, obviously, I never made it to the big leagues, but yes, I would definitely call myself a fan of the Chicago White Sox, especially with how many, friends and teammates I have that are not only still in the minor leagues but have made it to the big leagues. It's awesome to watch. So it's hard not to be a fan of a team when you know more than half the people on the lineup.
You know the fellas, and you know them well. They are like having a great year.
Yeah, and they're
Obviously,
only going to get better.
It's been a tough stretch over the past few years for the Southsiders, but they look
Correct.
legit and they look like they have staying power in that AL Central division. Why have they been so much better this year? And kind of what's your outlook for the club for the rest of the year? A very winnable AL Central, it feels like.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that. Yeah, it's definitely very winnable in the AL Central, and I feel like that they are just vibing together now, and like a lot of the younger guys who are new on the scene are kind of getting more comfortable and feeling like that they're almost like veterans that for even more people that are coming up, like Noah Schultz and Sam Antonacci, like those players, like that they're coming up and they're making impacts right away because they're comfortable with their teammates and they see a lot of familiar faces. You've got, a lot of big leaguers with the White Sox who've debuted, years prior or even last year, whether it's, Edgar Quero, Chase Mydroth, you got Colson Montgomery, of course, who can really, really launch the ball. Brooks Baldwin, he's been up and down between big leagues and AAA, but they've got a lot of young talent who's new on the scene in comparative to the average Major League Baseball player, but their veterans on their team are still relatively recent rookies, and it helps with the younger guys that are coming up, and I feel like that's why they're performing so well, is because they're so comfortable and they have a lot of confidence, man. They've been doing it in the minor leagues for years to come, and they're finally getting their opportunities and they're taking advantage of them. Like, I will say, I have seen the Chicago White Sox becoming a better baseball team in the major leagues before it's even happened this year. But I mean, in Double A, the past 2 seasons, we've won back-to-back championships, and we've had studs on both of those teams. And honestly, there's more guys in AAA that I feel like are going to be able to make an impact on the Chicago White Sox. So I feel like the ceiling is higher than it's at right now.
Love it. Who's one player who is not being talked about in that organization right now? Maybe they're not on the big league club. Maybe they're not playing every day, that you think is going to be a star at some point in the future?
That is a great question. I've got probably
Thank you.
honestly, I've honestly probably got a couple wild cards for you. One of them is Ryan Galaney. He's a friend of mine, and he hits nukes. He also hits for average. I mean, the only issue is he is a first baseman. So with their Japanese guy that they just got,
Yeah, Murakami.
that Murakami, he's gonna be tough to beat out. So I don't think that we'll see him anytime soon. At least this year, I hope so. But he's a dog, and I would probably say from the pitching side. I'd probably say like Riley Gowns because I mean he's a valuable starter. He stays healthy. I mean, in terms of stuff, I'd say he's pretty stock righty, but he's serviceable and he'll get deep into games. At least I've seen him get deep into a lot of games. He was on the futures team or the futures game last year, I think, for the Chicago White Sox. He represented them in the futures game, so um, I think that he could make an impact at the. I don't know if I would call him a star in the major leagues, but I think he will make an impact on the Chicago White Sox.
A noisemaker, so to speak. Well, Darth Vader, thank you for joining us. Always bring a great perspective to the program. I'm going to kick it over to DTP over there, Brandon Brown. And thank you, everyone who's streaming in. We already got close to 400 listeners. A little announcement as we get people in the chat. If we get to 1,000 listeners on the program today, we are sending at least one person to an MLB game that we're covering on the stream. So if you're listening and you want to go catch a ball game today or tonight, go share the stream.
Can I get in? How does it work if you're on the stream? And
you're going to have to enter. There's a little raffle situation. Well,
we'll figure it out.
If there's somebody where close to Kevin Roth, Kevin will chaperone you to the ball game. I guarantee it.
I'll buy you a beer.
On Dub Club. Brandon Brown, multi-time guest at DCTV. Always fun having you on the program. Introduce yourself, people who may not be familiar with the way you run your game. The floor is yours.
Well, essentially, I'm a little bit of a degen when it comes to betting nukes. I love home runs, strikeouts, hits, but I'm mostly known for betting home runs. I've been doing it for about, I want to say this is like year 2. Last year was my first year taking it more seriously. I was working full time, and I was just kind of betting for fun, and it kind of just snowballed into this. So, I mean, I haven't been in the game that long. I'd say I've been betting for 3 years, but I'd say 2 of those years was more casual than waking up every day full-time sports bettor. But I love it. It's been very enjoyable. This year's been hot, cold, but it's been fun. I've became a baseball fan because I was betting so much on baseball. Now I love it. So I never really loved the sport. I always just bet football, basketball, but now MLB's became my number one, so I can't complain.
What do you like about betting baseball? What's unique about the game that makes it a fun sport to attack on the betting perspective?
I think data-wise, I'm a stickler for data. I also like hunting like market value, and I think when it comes to just finding good data, good matchups, it's pretty spot on. It's not super easy, but it's kind of favorable to predict with good weather, good matchups. There's some weak pitchers that give up a lot of bombs and have high ERAs, and they're easy to attack. So when you have good power batters that fit their splits, it's kind of like a matchmaking process. But I love it. It's pretty fun. And then you see it's grown. Like when I started on Twitter, I only had like 7,000 followers, and now I'm almost at 75,000. So it's grown.
People like what you're posting, that's for sure. We got 4RN Gaming calling you the GOAT in the comments. Thank you, 4RN. Game respect game. Speaking of hot and cold, we're going to kick it over to Kevin Roth, the weatherman. How about that segue, Kevin?
That was nice.
Introduce yourself. You are a very unique player in the Dub Club ecosystem. And tell the listeners at home what makes you different and special.
I'm built different. No, I do something very different from what traditional cappers do, right? I'm not telling you what games are going to go over or what guys to bet on. I strictly provide weather data. right? And we've gotten to the point where anybody can just build a weather model with AI and say like, oh, this is what should happen. I just have raw weather data. This is what's happened in the past 72 games that look like this weather-wise. We've seen a 22% increase in home runs. We've seen a 17% increase in runs. We've seen the over hit 62% of the times. So it's not based on feel and vibes and magic. It's just like, this is the raw weather data, period. It can't be right. It can't be wrong. It just is the data. Here it is. I hand it to you. Do as you wish with that data. And I think if you are a smart capper, if you're betting props like Brandon knows the value of weather, right? That is a big part of your process, correct?
Very much so.
Yeah. So I think it's not a magic bullet, right? But it is a huge part of whether you're betting overs, like my guy Darth, or whether you're betting bombs. It's that weather component to be able to quantify that is massive, and that's what I do. I'm a meteorologist. Did I even say that yet? I'm a weatherman.
You buried the lead, Kevin.
I am a weatherman. That I am a TV weatherman in Houston, and I love sports and I love sports weather, and I have built this career over the last 15 years in sports weather, alongside just like my TV weatherman shenanigans, morning weatherman goofball. And that's pretty much it.
And incredibly well respected because your product is so cool. The
Thank you.
Overcast website. By the way, all these guys have got special offers as part of the stream. I should have put the banner up, but if you're watching on Twitter, check out the replies under the live stream to check out their Dub Club links. All are providing discounts. Kevin's going to give us a quick read on the biggest weather spots on today's MLB games. Before he does, I want to do something that we don't normally do. I want to put people on the spot, and I'm going to ask each person, because I know how these social media algorithms work. We got to get some spicy takes, some hot takes, active. So to get the juices flowing, I want to hear from each guest. Who is the team or the player that's doing well right now that is going to fade across the 162 game season? So somebody who, if he was a stock, you would sell that stock right now at the peak. This can be a team. This can be a player. This can even be weather patterns for Kevin. What's something that's been doing well to start the season that's effectiveness is going to fade? Darth, I see you come off mute. I know you got something ready to rock.
Are we talking about like teams in general, or are we talking about players and like on
Either
a team?
or. It could be a team or it could be a player.
Okay. Let's see. I think kind of an easy pick for a player to fade off in the long run, or to not be able to maintain the pace that he's at, would be maybe Andy Pages for the Los Angeles Dodgers. I feel like he's been, kind of like the backbone of the Los Angeles Dodgers right now, and which is kind of crazy to say with what their payroll looks like and what their roster looks like. And I feel like with him in the spotlight right now, it's just not maintainable. Not for, a younger guy who's, already around those veterans who've earned their fat contracts. I'd say that's probably the player I would lean toward.
In this Dodgers dynasty, I think we can call it a dynasty.
100%.
Obviously, they've got all these big money dudes, Shohei, Freddie Freeman, when they're Mookie, but it feels like their role players are also always awesome. Whether it's Max Muncy or when Justin Turner was running around, and like Andy Pages is like same story. Just where did this guy come from? I'm seeing him all over the WAR leaderboards. So knowing the Dodgers, maybe he'll have a great rest of year. But I love that pick from you, Jordan.
I would say like, especially in those high market teams, like if you got a guy making their debut with one of those high market teams, they got to be doing something right in the minor leagues. Like, to get an opportunity like that on a team like that is very hard to do. So that's just, they've got to be, he had to have been doing something right for years to come in the minor leagues, or
you got to earn that spot.
Got to earn it.
Brandon Brown, let's kick it to you. Who's a player or a team, if they were a stock, you're shorting?
That's a tough one for me, but I would say probably Byron Buxton. I feel like he tends to not stay healthy a lot, and he usually has like a really good first half of the season. Then the second half, he kind of dissipates. So I'm hoping it's not more of the same. He's one of my favorites, and I hope he stays healthy. But it's just I don't know if it's sustainable for him. But he's been killing it.
Center fielders are getting no love on the program this morning. Kevin Roth, last but certainly not least, who's the team, player, or weather pattern that you are shorting for the rest of the MLB season?
Team, let's go with the Tampa Bay Rays. And I hate that because I'm from Tampa and I love the Rays, but I think they're overachieving a little bit right now. And I just don't think they can keep up with the firepower that the Yankees have. So I don't think that they end up winning the division, though I think they're up like 2 games right now. Weather pattern and / betting pattern, it's betting unders. Because as we get deeper and deeper into the season and as temperatures start to warm, you get more overs, you get more home runs. So the first month of this season, people were killing with no home run parlays and unders and all of these things. The later you get into the season, the fewer 50-degree games with winds blowing in you have, and the less likely you are to win some of those under bets and some of those no home run bets.
Kevin, love the take. Be honest, though. Did you pick Tampa Bay because they play indoors and there's no weather, and thus your overcast software is not as relevant?
Yeah. It's fair. I actually really loathe all indoor teams because it's like taking away what I do, you know? And in the NFL, there's this big transition to new stadiums that are indoors. And that really pisses me off because I like an outdoor game in bad weather. That's fun. Let the people and the players have fun. Let them play in the rain and the snow and the wind. A little chaos isn't a bad thing.
I completely agree. As a Soldier Field fan and a Bears fan, there's plenty of weather and chaos. By the way, we're about to cross 1,000 viewers on the stream. We haven't even covered one game. So somebody's going to an MLB game if they stay around in this stream. I want to hear in the chat who you guys think the player or the team that is destined to have a regression to the mean or is not going to keep up their pace. Hottest take or best take is putting themselves in pole position to get a free MLB ticket for the game today. Before we get into the games, Kevin, I know you have to leave in about 5 minutes or so. Give us the weather report for this loaded Wednesday slate. We got quite a few outdoor games. So where are the spots where our listeners and our cappers need to be most dialed into the weather?
All right, you'll have to start with an apology because there's literally a chainsaw outside my window right now. So I'm going to try to keep talking to mute the noise of the chainsaw. But here's the big story today, Lou. It's that winds are back and they're blowing out. And it's been a minute since we've had a big slate with a lot of winds blowing out. And we've got it today. I think it's probably going to be a great home run slate just based on the weather alone. Let me hit you with the games where winds are blowing out. Yankees at Baltimore, 15 mile per hour. You've got Washington at Cincy, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Colorado at Pitt, blowing out 10 to 15. Boston, blowing towards the Green Monster, 15. New York Mets, 15 to 20 mile per hour, blowing out. Athletics, winds only 5 miles per hour, but blowing out. And then Dodgers, winds blowing out at 10 miles per hour. I mean, how many games did I just list off? 7, 8 games where winds are blowing out? That's a huge win.
I see Brandon with a big smile on his face over there getting ready to attack the home run markets.
I love it.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing, and here is what I think why it's really valuable to have the data, is that winds blowing out at 15 miles per hour does not equal the same thing at every ballpark, right? There are what's called microclimates within each ballpark. So winds are blowing out, sure, but within the stadium themselves, those winds could be swirling. There are cases like in San Francisco where the winds are blowing out, those winds actually work their way back around and knock down fly balls. So you need to know which ballparks does that wind blowing out really matter. That's what I built Overcast for. And to give you an example, in today's Yankees-Baltimore game, similar weather games, home runs have increased 15% compared to other games at Camden and versus MLB average, home runs are up 33%. So that's a big increase. The overs have hit 57% of the time in similar weather games, right? That's really, really noteworthy. Whereas in Citi Field, winds are blowing out 15 miles per hour. You'd think this is going to be great. We've actually seen a 10% decrease to the home run rate in similar weather games. And in both spots, winds are blowing out, but those winds are not created equal. So I urge everyone to not just pay attention to the weather, but to get some deeper understanding, some deeper knowledge as to what that weather means. And if you don't want to do that, you can just, follow me, follow my Dub Club, get Overcast, and you can learn all of those details. Shout out to Overseas, who says, I was thinking Kevin looked famous and familiar. Yeah.
Kevin Roth is nothing if not famous and familiar.
That's right. I might be your local TV weatherman, depending on where you live overseas. So I think that's kind of my core weather takeaway is know what games have the winds blowing out, and then if you can, go that extra level and know where it truly matters. And that's what I provide on Dub Club.
Kevin, thank you so much for enlightening us. I know you have to drop. If you want more great weather data, check out the link in replies. Kevin offering 20% off 1 month package in the replies. Thank you so much. I know Brandon and Jordan are ready to roll now. Any questions from Brandon and Jordan before we let our fearless weather leader leave?
Yeah, I'm here to leak some data, Brandon. If you have some questions for me, I'll give some freebies out. If there's a spot you're targeting, we can chat about it. Do you have a game in mind right now that you're trying to target?
I really love the Yankees and the Orioles game.
Yes.
That's one of my favorites right there.
Okay.
It's just beautiful weather.
My friend, we are in lockstep. It is wonderful weather there. Looking at the total, what is it, 8.5?
I believe so.
We've seen unders in a sample size of 44 similar weather games. Unders have hit 36% of the time. Overs have hit 57% of the time. 7% push. So there's a pretty strong over signal there. And we mentioned the great home run hitting weather as well, which I know is kind of your cup of tea.
Yeah.
And man, I'm all for it. I fully approve any home run bets in that game.
Awesome.
Who's the player you like most, Brandon? Yanks,
Benjamin
Orioles.
Rice.
Ben Rice, who's been going back and forth in the comments. TK said Ben Rice has been insane and hopes sustainable, but I think he regresses some throughout the season. Do you think Ben Rice? Obviously, you think he's going to hit one today, but are you bullish on him for the rest of the year?
If he can stay healthy, I think it all comes down to just players staying healthy. But the way that he's seeing the ball right now is insane. He's been pretty much crushing everything. But I think as long as he can keep it up, stay healthy, stay in the on the field, I think the sky's the limit. I don't think he regresses much. I mean, when I watch him bat, he's been pretty patient. A lot of these guys kind of jump the gun and swing. They either swing too early or swing too late. He's just been on time every single time. It's actually insane. So he's been pretty patient. He waits for his pitch. It's either the heater or the sinker, and it's usually gone. I think his HR per fly ball is almost 70%, which is just an insane stat. So yeah.
And in these conditions, you get the ball up in the air with winds blowing out at 15 miles per hour, temperatures in the mid 70s. That's going yard. So I approve.
Ben Rice getting a lot of love in the chat. Jordan, Darth Vader, it looks like you're going mobile. Our first ever vehicular DCTV. I hope we still have you. But do you have any plays you like in this matinee Orioles-Yankees game at Yankee Stadium? And drive safely if you are driving.
Sorry, my service just cut out there for a second. Yeah, I do have a lean, but it's a tough follow because I've honestly been taking the Orioles plus the points in every single matchup so far this series. They got the first one. They lost yesterday. I would take the Orioles again on the points. Whenever you're getting a run in a baseball game, I feel like you're at an advantage because anybody can win on any given day. And I feel like one-run ball games are very common as well. So I also am, you know how I like to bet, I fade the public. And the Yankees have been, always will be a highly bet public team. And for that reason, I think even the money line on the Orioles has good value, but I would be taking the plus 1.5.
Love it. I'm seeing plus 1.5 at minus 112 at our sponsor Onyx. Money line plus 153. So you're getting good value in either market right now. Obviously, Kyle Bradish is a good pitcher going for the Orioles today, trying to win a series at home against a very good Yankees squad. And oh, by the way, we just crossed 1,000 viewers. So somebody in the chat is going to a ball game today. The most active person in the chat who catches my eye is going to a ball game. They must live within a 60-minute drive of an MLB game that is playing today. We're not getting anybody on an airplane to fly to Baltimore in 2.5 hours. But get active and get the vibes going in here if you want to go to an MLB ball game on Dub Club's dime today, please. Yes, let's go.
I feel like Overseas Bees is the leader in the clubhouse. He said I looked famous, which I like. He's had multiple comments. So I'm not saying he wins. I'm just saying he's got my vote. You know, he's got my 1/4 of the vote.
Overseas Bees, you should go subscribe to Overcast right now. You got Kevin Roth going to bat for you, trying to get you on a plane from overseas to Cincinnati. That is a guy that you need to go subscribe to. Let's stay on the Eastern time zone. Angels, Guardians. Interesting matchup. I think I heard the wind was blowing out when Kevin was rattling off pretty much every game where it was hitter friendly.
So winds in that game, winds in that game are very powerful. They're 15 to 20 miles per hour, but they're actually mostly blowing across the field, not in, not out. What's interesting about this, though, is that we've got a 27-game sample size, and in those 27 games, home runs have increased 20+%. So while this isn't an idyllic spot with winds out to center, we have seen an increase in home runs in similar weather games here. So while not perfect hitting weather, it's certainly not a spot that I'm against.
Johnny Tuller, parentheses, Mr. Prop, says Jose Ramirez is due. Brandon Brown, what do you think about that, Mr. Home Run over there? Do you like Jose Ramirez today? Do you like anybody else? Kevin's kind of, he's hedging a little bit. He loved Camden Yards, not as excited about old Jacobs Field in Cleveland. What do you think about Jose Ramirez or another spot in this Guardians-Angels game?
I mean, looking at his data now, it's not it's not terrible. Decent barrel. His velo's through the roof. I mean, consistent power, but it's J-Ram. It's just not a lot of fly balls. Everything's has been a ground ball. So if you can get one in the air, I think he could go. I mean, with that velo is a lot of power, but personally, I faded because I favor those who have a higher fly ball to ground ball ratio, as well as hitting the ball at an ideal launch angle, which he has not been doing. Everything looks like distance, angle, bat speed has all regressed. So I would not pick Jose, but that's just me. If he loves him, I hope he cashes,
Who would you pick, Brandon? Because we've got Shots by Smitty calling him Jose Selram, so he's not a big believer in Jose.
I really do like I would say Joe Adell. I think Joe Adell looks insane today, but Parker Messick is a pretty rough matchup. I mean, he has low H or 9s. He's pretty suppressive. He's not giving up much ISOs or slugging, excuse me. But he throws the heater almost 32%, and that is Adell's pitch. He has 5 home runs so far this season off the heater, 35.3% barrel, and a average of 101 exit velocity. So I think Joe Adell's the guy.
Joe Adell's a guy that I've been high on since preseason. He's had a good start to the year, OPSing 730, nothing crazy, but an interesting spot for him. Fader, let's talk about the sides. Let's talk about the total. We dissected the prop market. Looks like you're maybe driving to Progressive Field right now. What do you like in this matchup between the Angels and the Guards?
The Angels and the Guardians. Give me 1 second to look at my
Uh-oh, Darth Vader just went dark.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So I don't think I would have a side in this one. Right now, I'm seeing 63% of the money on the over, so very hittable. Usually where I like to fade is when I see that 70% number or higher, but 63% is pretty 50-50. They could definitely pay that. But I'm going to ride with, the weather guy, and if he thinks it's going over today, I concur.
Fair enough. Okay, let's go Nationals Reds now. This one, first pitch is at 6:40 local time. I don't even remember what you said about the weather, Kevin. I've had too much iced coffee, so my memory's short-circuiting. But Great American Ballpark is a bandbox.
Yeah.
A lot of
I
home
think
runs
he
in
said
that ballpark.
15 miles per hour blowing out, didn't he?
Look at
Damn
you,
right.
Darth Vader. How
Yeah.
are you?
Paying
Very
attention
impressive.
while driving. It is winds blowing out. Quick shout out to Katie Gonzalez in the chat. Katie, good people. We got good people in the chat, no doubt. Wants some info on the Mets game, and we will most certainly get there. Those winds in Cincinnati are blowing out. We haven't seen a big change to home runs in similar weather games. It's been pretty much flat. But as you mentioned, it's the Great American Small Park, right? This is a home run park, regardless of weather. Winds blowing out, certainly not a bad thing here. So, as always, it is a plus conditions for home runs there in Cincy.
And we have, respectfully, two meatballers on the mound this evening in Cincinnati. Jake Irvin, Nate Lodolo. Both guys sporting ERAs north of 5.2. Brandon Brown, this got your name written all over it. Where are you locking in?
Let's see here. Checking the cheat sheet. I have favored Brady House and JJ Bleday for a home run. Those two look like they're in ideal spots. Brady House has been crushing baseballs. Been really consistent. Hopefully he gets the heater. I don't think Nick throws it that often. About 23% usage, so good amount. But he gives up a 750 ISO and 1,000 slugging. So I mean, if he does get that pitch, I think it's gone. JJ, same thing. He also likes the heater, but he has been selling us left and right. So I would go light. I'd pair him or bet him straight, but I would not parlay him. So I'd be tread lightly with JJ.
Shot by Smitty says, don't overthink it. Just pick JJ and Ellie. And we got Stack saying James Wood back to back. I think everybody's going to hit something today. I've got homers in my brain in Cincy. What do you think about those hot takes coming in from the comment section, Brandon?
James Wood is always a good pick. I kind of want to lean towards Abrams. I think Abrams is also a really good pick as well. I think he's in like a nice sneaky spot, and he also crushes the pitch mix, so he hits the ball very well. James Wood, looking at him now, he does have one on the heater, so not bad, but his barrels are a little bit low. But that makes sense because he hits lasers. That dude's line drive percentage is like 50%. So most of the balls that he hit, it's not really up in the air. But can't go wrong with James Wood either.
Darth Vader, take us to the more traditional market segment of this game. Reds are minus 168 favorites outright on the run line, minus 1.5 plus 123. Anything you like in this game?
Yeah, actually, and I have controversy just because, I mean, obviously you guys are saying the wind's blowing out and you guys want the homers and stuff in this game and you guys got all these home runs that you're thinking of, but this is actually the most heavily bet over of the day, and that's probably because, we got two meatballers on the mound, like you said. Maybe people have done their homework and they're already on the weather and they know the wind's blowing out, but as of right now, I'm seeing 89% of bets going in on this over, so that's another spot where I would typically be fading, and that's a high number. I'm probably going to have a pick on this one, and I'll probably be taking that under and just hope that the opposite happens this time. But, yeah, I'm kind of torn listening to all this weather blowing out and all this high exit velos and launch angles and stuff. It hurts, but that's just my opinion. I'm not saying that one guy can't still hit a solo homer, but I'm hoping it's just not a 3-run homer. That's my 2 cents on it. I would probably be taking the under 9 runs.
That is why they call you Darth Vader, the villain of DCTV. The chat will rebel against Darth Vader picks, but that's why I love this crew. Let's keep moving. Rockies at Pirates is next on my list. First pitch, 6:40 local time. Chat, keep the great vibes going, by the way. I'm loving how involved the chat is. Somebody's going to an MLB game. And breaking on DCTV, if we get to 2,000 listeners, we're going to send 2 people to 2 separate games. So let's keep the chat rolling and let's keep people coming in. I think that would be our most viewed DCTV in a while. So let's get to 2K. We're at 1,600 right now, but let's talk about the Pirates game. I'm assuming the wind's blowing out based on our first blurb.
My guy, yes. Winds yet again blowing out here in Pittsburgh. About 10 to 15 mile per hour wind. Temperatures are a little cool in the low 60s. We've seen a 2% increase to home runs in similar weather games. Nothing all that significant. And compared to MLB average, that's still 18% below your normal home run rate if you compare all games across MLB. So average weather for Pittsburgh, but compared to Major League Baseball, it's a slight downgrade to home runs and scoring.
We've got two grizzled veterans on the mound this evening in Pittsburgh. Jose Quintana, who I believe is pitching for his 30th MLB ballpark. I was not aware he was on the Rockies, but now I know that. He's had quite a career. Against longtime Pirate Mitch Keller, known Cub killer. What do you think, Brandon? Two vet pitchers. You know, the park is generally more of a pitcher's park. A little bit of good weather for hitters this evening. Anything you like? Joe Sims says you're the GOAT, so I want to hear what you have to say.
I faded this game. I did want to target Jose because he does give up a lot to lefties, but he doesn't throw like good favorable pitches. Like I usually like to target the four seam and the slider because those are just like the easiest pitches to hit. But he throws a slurve, which is like kind of like a curveball. It is pretty weak. I mean, he gives up a lot of ISO and slugging to it, but not a lot of these guys in the lineup, especially the lefties, hit that pitch. I have Brian Reynolds at the top of the list right now. I would do Brandon Lowe, but this four seam that he pitches is like a four seam from hell. High K rating, high whiff rate. Not all four seams are the same four seams, so yeah, I would fade this game. Just not a lot of love here.
When you say you're fading this game, does that mean you're sitting it out, or does it mean you're betting no home runs?
I wouldn't bet no home runs because I think the weather, someone's gonna hit a bomb, probably like Connor Griffin, someone random. But for me personally, I just wouldn't bet any HR props.
Fair enough. Speaking of fading, let's go to Darth Vader himself. What do you like in this game?
Yeah, I'm not really like super heavy on a pick in this game either. If I had to pick a side, I'd probably stay with the Pirates just because Jose Quintana, like I've watched him pitch a lot, the soft tossing lefty in his career. He's even pitched for the White Sox at one point, I'm pretty sure. Has he?
That's where he started his career. Jose
That's
Quintana.
That's what I thought.
To the Cubs for, I want to say, Eloy Jimenez and Dylan Cease.
That's
what all the Southsiders got.
That's what I thought. And I really don't love him as a pitcher, honestly. I personally, like, if I'm rooting for an under, I want to see velo, I want to see sharp stuff, I want to see swing and miss, and he's kind of a weak contact guy. So he's kind of like, you could see a lot of base hits, you could see a lot of doubles to happen, you could see a lot of, maybe him working the edges and maybe walking a couple guys. I personally think Pirates get him, and that's just my 2 cents on it. I don't have really any opinion on the over-under, but I think the Pirates get him.
Love it. Let's keep moving. Phillies, Boston, interleague play in Fenway Park. 60 minutes to the minute away from Stacks, who was active in the chat earlier. So, Stacks, if you're still listening, make some noise in case you want to go to this game. B. Brown, this is your hometown crew. I want to hear from you, but before I do, let's kick it over to weather. Kevin Roth, WX. Educate us.
Yeah. You want to guess what way the winds are blowing?
I'm going to guess out.
They're blowing out, baby. That's what we like to see. Winds are blowing to the monster. Blowing out to left, almost 15 miles per hour. We've seen a 5% increase to home run rate in similar weather games. So this is not a, oh my God, the weather game, but it certainly isn't a reason to fade it, right? A slight boost is still a boost. We'll take it. Brandon, what are you looking at?
I'm loving Carlos Narvaez. He does crush the sinker and the sweeper. He has 2 home runs already this year. 20% barrel, 40% fly ball, 60 hard hit with a 33.3% pull. I think he looks really good. And then Mickey Gasper. He doesn't have odds, but he's actually my favorite for the Red Sox. Dude has three pretty long flyouts off the heater. So I think he's bound to hit one over the fence.
Are you making up names? Who is this person?
Mickey Gasper.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna trust you on that. I just do the weather. You do the home run analysis.
That's how you know Brandon's sharp, because we'll talk about winds blowing out, like meatballers on the mountain, and then he'll rip off 3 names. I'm like, I have no idea who any of those 3 guys are.
Do not know this man. Yeah.
The data's talking.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Stacks. You stuck around. You are going to Fenway Park tonight.
Let's go, Stacks.
Quick 60-minute drive. Please DM dubclub_win on X. We will hook you up with tickets. Let's go, Stacks. Congratulations. Go Red Sox. Tell us about if Stacks should expect to win or lose. Stacks, you a Red Sox fan? I assume yes, but Darth Vader's going to tell you if the Sox are going home happy or sad tonight against the Phils. Phils are playing good ball.
Yeah, I don't have a side on that specific pick. I don't have a winner in the game, but I would say that I side with the over. I'm probably not going to be on the over, but right now money is leaning on the under, and I mean we have hittable pitchers on the mound. Sonny Gray's pitching well this year, and Painter, I believe, is on the mound for is it the Nationals?
Right, you are the Phillies. Painter.
The Phillies. Painter's on the mound for the Phillies. And yeah, money's leaning on the under. If the wind's blowing out and these guys got some guys that they like to hit bombs, I support them in this game.
We're riding the under. When the music's playing, you're going to want to dance. Even Darth Vader can't fade that matchup. Let's keep moving. We've got an indoor game. No fun. Boo. Rays, Jays, Rogers Center, north of the border. Kevin, do you want to say anything about how perhaps indoor sporting events should be banned, or like just use the bully pulpit while you got it?
Yeah, they shouldn't be legal. It's a terrible experience if you've ever been to an indoor baseball game and you're eating your peanuts and then you're like, am I even allowed to throw these on the floor? It feels wrong because you're indoors. Everything's wrong about it. I hate it. But it's a part of sports, and I might be mildly biased. But Brandon, go ahead. Tell us who's going yard in this one. Roof open, roof closed, whatever.
So this one I skipped, but I do like Kazuma Okamoto. I think he has some pretty fair odds. Yeah, he's pretty close to fair odds. His fair odds 390. Get the best odds on DraftKings at 392. Dude crushes heaters and sweepers. 23.7% barrel, 5 home runs. I think he's in a pretty good ideal spot. He's going against Griffin Jacks. Not a big dinger giver upper guy to righties. It's more of a lefties matchup that you want for the target for home runs. But he does give up a 13% barrel, so he could be exploited. So I think Okamoto's a good option.
Another guy who I had to Google Baseball Reference immediately after it coming out of your mouth. I'm embarrassed.
He's actually good.
Yeah, I'm not an American League viewer as much as I am Cubs and National League. Darth Vader, what do you like north of the border here? 2 AL East rivals, Rays and Jays.
Yeah, I would lean Blue Jays in this game. I know I feel like the Blue Jays get it done, and my favorite pick in the game would be under 7.5 total runs. I'm glad that it's indoors because you guys can't really have any weather opinions on it. But I would be leaning at the under 7.5. It is heavily bet on the over. And that's a low line. The book is kind of telling you that it's probably going to be going low. I'm betting with what the book's telling me.
Love it. We're closing in on 2,000 viewers, by the way. So we got some more tickets to send out if we get over 2K. I know Johnny Toller's getting active, the Reds fan. Cincinnati's playing at home tonight. So, Johnny, let's get some more people in here. We'll get you to the Great American Ballpark if we can get over 2K. Let's talk about the New York Metropolitans and the Detroit Tigers. Mets obviously performing below expectations thus far this season. Tigers kind of hanging around in the AL Central, battling some injury problems. Kevin, I'm assuming, again, the wind is blowing out, but you catch us up to speed, and then we'll kick it to B. Brown to talk home runs.
Right, you are. But this is one of those really interesting spots where winds are blowing out, and they got some umph to them, 15 to 20 mile per hour wind blowing out. And your immediate response to that is, oh, wow, this is going to be great hitting weather. But what we've seen in 27 similar weather games is that home runs have actually decreased 10% in those games. Now, that could be a small sample size, that could be noise, or that could be a true microclimate issue where winds blowing out actually suppress home runs in this location. Temperatures are also in the mid 60s, which is on the cooler side. So it's not ideal hitting weather, but it's also hard to argue with winds blowing out regardless of what the data is showing you sometimes. So I'm calling this in my head somewhat of a neutral game. I'm interested to see if this is one that Brandon is high on for some home runs and some prop bets.
Yes. I do want to target Christian Scott. Gives up a 250 and a 500 slugging to righties. 2.25 HR9. I think this is an ideal matchup for Dylan Dingler and Spencer Torkelson. They're pretty good on the pitch mix. I kind of have Torkelson a little bit up on the peg, but you can't go wrong with both. Torkelson right now is crushing heaters, 2 home runs for the season. He has a 60% pull, 66.7% fly ball. So the ball's in the air most of the time when he makes contact. And then Dylan Dingler, 3 home runs against the 4-seam and the sweeper. Kind of the same ordeal, just a little bit lower on the pull and the fly ball, but they both get the ball in the air.
Never disappointing. Darth Vader, you've been all over the place. Looked like you just went into a Cabela's or something of that nature. We're back in the car. What do we like? Tigers, Mets, side, total, anything at all?
Yeah, not a super big game for me, unfortunately. I mean, it's split down the middle on both sides for the game and for the total. I did just walk in my gym and let them know I was going to be a little bit late. I usually work out in the mornings. It's like 8 a.m. here. But that's why I was just going in there to tell them. It was like, hey, like get started without me. But
what are you be working out today? What's the exercise regimen?
I'm a total body guy, and I usually do about 3 to 4 total body lifts throughout the week, and then I'll mix in some arms here and there, cardio, that type of stuff. But yeah, I don't really have.
Kevin Roth has been really focused on the arms. I don't know if anyone saw that out of the corner of their eye. That was like
bang.
Are you a bodybuilder, Kevin? Goodness gracious!
I've got a rule, and that rule is every day is arm day. That's my rule. Curls for the girls. Although I'm married and I have kids.
So buys for the guys.
Yeah. I've skipped leg day for 41 straight years, and I plan on continuing.
Consistency. That's what you can trust.
Hey, boys, unfortunately, I have to bounce because these men with chainsaws outside my house want me to pay them. And I have a rule. If someone with a chainsaw wants your money, you should give it to them before it ends poorly.
What's the point of arm day if you got to play by their rules, man?
That's a good point. Yeah, maybe I'll just flex and see if that scares them away. Boys, always a good time, and looking forward to jumping on one of these in the future as well.
All right, Kevin, good insight.
All right.
Thanks, Kevin.
Good stuff. Later, y'all.
All right, we'll pick up the pace now. We got Cubs and Braves in Atlanta, game 2 of a 3-game set. The Braves are obviously at home, but they're dogs tonight. Mm-hmm. B. Brown, where are you eyeing on the Braves-Cubs matchup between two teams at the top of the National League standings?
Well, first of all, the weather's great, 78, and winds are blowing out to left field at 10 miles an hour, so I'm sure Kevin would approve. My favorites are Ian Happ and Moses. Both look really good. I did not pick anyone from the Braves. I just love the Cubs. The Cubs are good. And then you can really do Suzuki as well, but the pitcher gives up a lot more to lefties, so that's why I wanted to kind of lean in more into Happ and Moses. Ian Happ, 4 home runs on the pitch mix, 48% fly ball, 48 pull, 72% hard hit. Kind of all the things you want and need when betting a home run. Moses is a little bit more of a stickler for the sinker. He wants the sinker or the changeup. 3 home runs, low fly ball at 28%, 24% pull, a little bit low. So he's kind of more of a value spot, I would say.
Love it. Shots by Smitty, loves Hap as well. I saw some Hap discourse in the chat earlier today. We're over 2,000 listeners. Johnny Toller, Mr. Prop, it's time to DM dubclub_win on X if you're still listening, because you are going to Great American Ballpark tonight. Congratulations. Well done. You like Ian Happ as well. That's a victory. Darth Vader, Cubs, Braves. What do you think? You're a Chicago fan, The Cubs are from Chicago, maybe not the White Sox, but what do you like in this matchup?
I think that if it were being played at Wrigley Field, it'd be a totally different game. And I would never bet against the Cubs at home. For that reason, Braves being at home, I would lean Braves. They are also getting juice on the money line. I think the Braves are probably the better pick. I would also say for the total that your best side would probably be on the over. More money coming in on the under in this game than on the over. It's not a super large sample size, but early action is on the under. So I would be leaning over on this one, over 8.5.
Wow. We get to bet overs with Darth Vader. That's fun.
Yeah, it's very rare. It's
I
very
know.
rare because I usually only hand out unders. Like, seriously, you could ask my chat. It's almost always an under, and they're probably getting sick of it. But today, it looks a little bit different.
You got to play what the data's telling you. We got you on the hot seat. We're going to keep you on the hot seat. You are a resident White Sox expert. That's the next game on the slate, 6:40 Central. First pitch tonight. Noah Schultz, highly touted prospect, having a nice start to his career on the South Side. This is kind of a pick'em between the Sox and the Royals, two divisional rivals, obviously.
I thought they had the Mariners today. Am I wrong? Do they have the Royals?
I am seeing Royals White Sox. Seth Lugo and Noah Schultz.
That's correct.
Darth Vader went dark. Yeah. He said, fuck it. I got to recalibrate. I can't swear on stream. That's bad ball, Lou.
Okay. Yeah, you are right. They do play the Royals. This is probably another pick that I'm going to have in the game, and I hate to say it, and I hope Noah Schultz doesn't see this because him and I are friends. I hope he throws the ball really well today. But majority of the money is coming in on the White Sox. They are probably betting on Noah Schultz because he is doing everything that he was expected to do. I'm pretty sure he's pitching to like a 2.8 right now. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I would be leaning Royals in this game. I'm seeing 83% of the money on the White Sox. I think the Royals are the favorite on the money line. I know it's a pick 'em, but I think they're getting juiced minus 115 to 105 on the other side.
Yeah.
I like the minus 115 for the Royals. I hope.
Wow.
Again, like I said, Noah Schultz is a friend of mine. Him and I have played Nintendo Switch in his apartment all throughout the minor leagues coming up. I wish nothing but the best for him. I hope that he goes six scoreless, but I hope the White Sox also don't put up any runs in the first 6 innings as well, and that the Royals get the best of them in the late game. I would be leaning Royals, but
this is how you know Darth Vader is a cold-blooded killer. He is like strictly by the numbers, by the book. Check the emotions at the door. I mean, this guy that's why he is who he is.
It could be my own brother on the mound, man, and I'd be betting with my stats, not my heart.
Sorry, Darth Vader's bro.
Sorry, brother. But yeah, like I said, I think the Royals is the best pick. I'm not saying that Noah Schultz can't pitch well, but the Royals will win this game. Mark my words.
Fair enough. Brandon Brown, we got a lot of chatter in the chat about the South Side Samurai. So this is a spot where you like Murakami to go yard. Any other matchups in particular you're eyeing?
I actually faded. I faded this game because you got two suppressive pitchers that don't look like great targets. Very low ISOs, very low slugging. So I was not a fan. I mean, looking at who I would bet, I guess Murakami is not a bad pick, but Seth Lugo does not give up anything to lefties. Hasn't even given up a home run. So it is a tough matchup for him. The pitch arsenal. Let me see if Murakami fits it. He does. He actually does. So it is a good matchup. Pitch mix wise, it's a tough pitcher. But Murakami has 6 home runs against the sinker and four seam, which are the top 2 pitches. Good barrel rates. Launch angles better on the four seam, obviously. But I faded.
Fair enough. Padres Brewers up next, indoor. No Kevin Roth, no problem. Brandon Brown, you're cooking. We'll keep you on the mic. What do you like in this matchup? Mizorowski's going for the Brew Crew. It's hard to bet against him, but tell us, are there spots you're dialed into?
Also faded. I also faded this one. I don't like targeting suppressive pitchers. I think they do their jobs very well for a reason. But if you do want to look for two people that can possibly go, I think Bryce Terang and Jake Bowers. They're in pretty good, decent spots. Good ISOs, low whiff rate, low K rate. They both have 3 home runs against Michael King's pitch mix. And King has already given up 4 homers to the lefties. And he's given up a little bit more of a barrel rate to them too, 12.7% barrel percentage. So you could go to Rang or Bowers. Looking deeper into it, it's the sinker that is looks like his weakest pitch. So
Darth Vader, what do you think about the side and total market at American Family Field in Milwaukee, Wisconsin?
Another one of those games where I would really don't have a side on the winner or loser, but I think the best pick is the over. And it's bad for me to say that because Mizrowski is probably like the freakiest gifted pitcher I've ever seen. And his arsenal is incredible. But I mean, for that reason alone, everyone's betting on the under. And I mean, sports books aren't just, giving away free unders, like they're in business for a reason and they know like long term what's most likely to happen. Mizrowski also gets a lot of swings and misses, so he has a higher pitch count that is causation for him to get out of the game early if he gets a lot of swing and miss or foul ball, weak count, like, those types of situations where he gets deep into counts. I think that the game will pick up in the later innings. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like Mizrowski is a good bet to still pitch well because, I don't see how people can hit that. But I would be betting on the over in this baseball game.
Love it. Next up, Marlins Twins interleague ball game. Over under is sitting at 8.5 where I'm looking. Twins are slightly plus money at home. B. Brown, get us started with dingers or anything else that may be catching your eye between the Fish and the Twins.
So this one I wanted to bet because Simeon Woods is a great target. Gives up a ton of ISO, a ton of slugging. Gave up 8 home runs already this season with almost a 2.0 HR9. He's at 1.85. Perfect target, just not the lineup for it. Fortunately, a lot of these guys, Liam Hicks leads the pack with 6 home runs against his pitch mix. It's just his numbers are really low in terms of like barrel rates, but I think if you want to bet it, you could go Hicks. The top 2 pitches, he has 3 home runs against it, but he has 3 homers on the slider. It's just not a pitch that he throws, that Simeon throws a lot. And then other than that, everyone else is just really low. So good contact hitters, just not a lot of power from this Marlins lineup.
Fair enough. Fader, what do we got? Sides, totals, first 5.
No total on this one. I have, again, it seems to be such a reoccurring theme where I say something that's controversy to what was just said, but I feel like Marlins are the better play. And I know that you said like he gives up a ton, like their starting pitcher gives up a ton of ISO. I don't really pay attention to those numbers, which probably, would help me, but I strictly go by what I've found to be profitable. Marlins money line would probably be my bet in this game. And I'm just going to leave it at that.
We got Johnny Tuller, Mr. Prop, saying Liam Hicks, 2 bags. He's going to be at Great American Ballpark, so he's not going to be able to watch this on TV. I see Brandon Brown throwing the thumbs up. We like that spot. How do you think about total base markets versus dinger markets? Do you cover both, or really just home run or bust?
You can water it down. I always tell people when they use my list, it's not only for home runs. You can definitely do 2 bags, hits, runs, RBIs. It's still really a good list to just water down. I've seen people make thousands off hit parlays. They use my list sometimes better than me. So sometimes I find myself telling them, especially with the hits, runs, RBIs, you just want to look at. I wouldn't look so much at the ISO and slugging if you're doing that. I'll look more into the the batting average and the WOBA, just to see who's getting on base more often than none. If you're gonna do that.
I mean, you've got to think that if your data is, influencing you to bet on a home run, to take 2 total bases certainly is a safer strategy. I'm not obviously you want to try to hit the books for everything they have, but if you're betting on somebody to hit a home run, 2 total bases should play right into that hand, because that's also something that you're looking for power in terms of maybe getting a double, but I'd say like that you can't go wrong if you're taking somebody that he's betting on to hit a home run to get less total bases.
Gentlemen, we've got a few games left, but we are kind of out of time. Of the 4 games left, is there one more that you guys really want? And chat, I want to hear from you too. The 4 remaining games are Diamondbacks, Rangers, Mariners, Astros, Cards, A's, and Giants, Dodgers. The obvious one is Giants, Dodgers, because that's an epic rivalry. But if these esteemed guests want to cover one of those 4 games in particular, speak now or forever hold your peace. And the chat that has been so active throughout the stream, if you guys want us to go deep on one particular market before Darth Vader gets his total body workout in, get active now as well. I see Tar
Cards and face.
shark emoji wanting to talk interleague ball out there in Sacramento. Cardinals, Athletics, B. Brown, hit us.
So 2 guys I absolutely love for this game is Nathan Church and Tyler Soderstrom. Tyler looks amazing, especially against the slider. 26.7% barrel, good hard hit, 60% pull. He's definitely my favorite for that game. And he's consistently hitting a lot of fly balls. His fly ball to ground ball ratio is pretty high. Nathan Church, tons and tons of power. He just hasn't gone over the fence for us since we've been betting him this month. He had a pretty good April. He was crushing the ball. But he's mostly looking for the sinker and the cutter. Low fly ball numbers at 26.7%, but the hard hit and the pull is there. So if he can get the ball in the air, he has a chance to go for the fence.
2 teams that are overperforming expectations thus far, both above 500 early in the season. Darth Vader, is there a side total that you like in this matchup between the Cards and the Athletics?
I don't, but I will drop one more pick from one of the 4 teams that you said that we haven't covered. I would say the Diamondbacks are probably you can get good value. You're probably looking at about plus 100 on the money line, but I would lean Diamondbacks in that one. But no, not in the Athletics Cardinals game. I don't have a play. Both of those are way down on my list, and they're both sides of that game are coin flips. I really have no say in which way it'll go in that one.
That kind of sounded like poetic. You were rhyming. You had good meter. That was kind of a bar you just dropped. So well
Thank
done.
you. Thank you.
Okay, it's that time of the stream, everybody. By the way, chat, you guys were awesome. This was an extremely engaged, epic chat. We got to get this crew back together again. Thank you to Onyx Odds for sponsoring. I put in the chat a link to sign up with Onyx. If you sign up today and play 10, you get 100 in free picks instantly to use on these great plays from these great guests. But it's time for everyone's favorite part of the program. Go around the horn and give us your favorite play so we can ride it out as a squad. I'm going to give you guys a second to collect yourselves, to reflect, to introspect. As you do that, I'm going to put your links in the chat. Both of these excellent guests are offering generous discounts to celebrate the stream. Brandon Brown, discount is in the chat now. Darth Vader picks, discount is in the chat now. Both folks offering 50% off your first month in the Dub Club. Congrats to Stack. Congrats to Johnny Tuller going to ball games today. Darth Vader, we're starting with you. I know you got to go do some kettlebell swings. Your one favorite play for the slate of MLB games today.
I'm going to give you one team to win, and I'm going to give you one.
I don't want
total.
it. I just want your one favorite.
All
Because
right,
if you give me two, I'm going to choose the one that loses, and I'm going to ignore the one that wins. And I can't have that responsibility on my head.
Okay, that's fair enough. My pick for today, favorite pick, is Kansas City Royals to beat the White Sox. That is my pick. Minus 150.
Hearted killer, Darth Vader.
Minus 115. I know. I played for the Chicago White Sox. I wish them all of the best. I have a friend of mine on the pitcher's mound. I'm taking the Kansas City Royals strictly because of my strategy. Trust me, it's profitable long term. 50% off a month right now using that code that just got dropped in the comments. $25 a month is as cheap as it gets, seriously. And we are rocking with the Kansas City Royals today. That is my one for sure lock.
Brandon, hard to follow that up. A lot of intrigue in that play, but the floor is yours.
I'm gonna stick with Ben Rice. I said it earlier today's stream, and I mean, dude looks insane. Great matchup. I think this is like probably the top game with the best weather in terms of, even if you go and check Overcast, about a 60% boost to home runs, and just looks good. You're averaging almost 3.2 home runs a game in these weather conditions. So I think one of those three is going to be Benjamin Rice.
Wow. The chat is probably going wild with that pick. A lot of love for Ben Rice throughout the stream. So we're giving the people what they want. We will put this together into a community squad parlay. Thank you both. What an epic, fun stream. Thank you to the chat for being so engaged and active. We do this all the time, so turn your noties on for dubclub_win on X or YouTube. Subscribe. Otherwise, go subscribe to these two excellent cappers. The links are in the replies. Both are offering 50% off first month. Great follows, great subs, all MLB season long. We are just getting started. We still got 3/4 of the regular season to go.
Thank you for having me.
Parting thoughts.
Thank you. Let's have a day.
Let's have a day today. Come on.
Looks good today, so let's turn it up.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a good one, guys.